This is a topic I wanted to engage because, per usual, I end up having these talks out of disgust or disappointment in what I observe out in the world. You may see quite often there are those reels on Instagram where there's some goofball wearing Meta glasses and he'll walk up to some chick and his mumble voice. And these guys are tall, 6'5", 6'6", and they walk up mumbling, speaking unclearly, unconfident, complimenting the broad, really seeming like some sort of a fan that walk up like, hey, you're really cute. Hey, you're really pretty. Hey, what's your name? Oh, what's your name? Oh, yeah, I like your bag. Oh, hey, are you from around here? It's terrible. I really wish someone would just show up and beat them up on camera. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk some real game, some realism. You dig? It's a damn shame having to listen to these rascals think they're kicking game. Despicable, appalling, darling. Anyways, and I want to highlight some things. And if you guys enjoy this and you need a deep dive, I highly recommend the Big Game Conference. I go into this stuff for 2 days worth of game. I held a conference here at the plantation in person. We went through all of it, answered all the questions you guys have. We'll have our annual Big Game Conference coming up either in June or July. We'll announce it soon enough. But anyways, let's go ahead and kick this game. You dig? And shout out to the folks who are watching on twitch.tv/Marquett Devon. So we want to discuss, if you don't mind, what women are attracted to. And that is a very loaded statement because women are creatures of indirection. They are crooked beings. And to look at you is not the whole ball game. You see, men, we're fairly straightforward and simple. You look at the woman, am I attracted? Am I not attracted? Would I poke or would I not poke? Women, they look at you and there's so many things that matter. Your posture, your ability to signal resources, the likelihood of you being generous. Do you have status? Do you have confidence? Do you look like you can exact violence if need be? So many different factors. Whereas with men, it's so simple. Matter of fact, I say we go easy on these women. We really we make it too easy for them. So the first piece, and those of you who have followed the ism for some time, you've heard me say this before. It's not about what you say, it's about how you say it. Marquette, what do you mean, how you say it? Yes, that's why I was just railing against these morons who wear their Meta glasses and they walk up to random broads and they say, oh yeah, you're really cute. Oh, you're beautiful. Oh, hey, I like your birds. Oh, are you from around here? And they're weak, effeminate voices, low tone, mumbling, not enunciating. I can only imagine the look that they're giving the chick in awe when they go talk to this female. And it's funny because they're looking down on the female in a literal sense, but figuratively, they're really having the woman look down on them because they're engaging her from a peon perspective. And that's why I have to take a red marker to the game. Give me a moment. I'm going to drop the information in the description of the video. I appreciate you letting me know. And for those of you who have questions, and really all of you should have questions in as much as I see so much bad game online. It should be illegal. These folks need to get a certificate from the big homie before they start talking anything about women, because they're not speaking from a place of experience. And truth be told, if shorty ain't broke you off no paper, you really ain't like that. You ain't like that. No sirree, Bobby. Okay, let's talk about it. And one of the things I really enjoy about the Big Game Conference is we have time to get into the psychology of the woman. Yes, and women are deeply psychological creatures. Sometimes it's really sad. I actually feel sorry for them. The way their wiring is so very disadvantageous, if your goal is to be like happy in life. Anyways, your first 0 to 15 seconds matter most with the female. When you approach her, that's when she takes a look at you. She observes your posture. Is it a strong posture? Is it a weak posture? She listens to your tonation. Is your voice demanding and definite? Is your voice happy and confident? Are you speaking in down tone? Are you masculine? Or are you weak? Are you speaking in uptone? Does your voice reek of uncertainty? Do you seem like you're not having fun in the moment and in life in general? Those are the things that she assesses. You actually get to decide for her if you're attractive. Marquett, what do you mean? I get to decide if I'm attractive? That's right, buddy. She's going to listen to you and assess if you feel like you are appealing and you are attractive. And she can take so many different measures that will register in her manipulative female mind instantly to figure out if you're worthy or qualified. Huh? You see, think of it like this. Think of it like it's a job interview. You know, some people show up to the job interview and they know that they lied on the resume. They're not quite qualified, but they're trying to get an increase in pay. Maybe they'll get lucky. Then there are other people that show up for the job interview and they're like, if they don't hire me, they're taking a loss. And frankly, it doesn't matter to me either way. There's 1,000 jobs that would love to have me. I know my resume is phenomenal. I'm overqualified. This company would be privileged to have my skill set and talents. And you conduct yourself in that way. There are those peons in the interview where they say, do you have any questions for us? And they say, no, because they're just happy to be there. Then there are those who are in the interview and the interviewer says, do you have any questions for us? Yo, absolutely. I'd like to know about this and that and this and that. Why? Because you too have requirements of the business. You have requirements of the company. It's not just them trying to figure out who you are. You won't take the job if the job isn't right for you. Huh? Come on now, let's get into it. So, when you're first approaching a woman, of course she's going to be a little guarded and standoffish because you're a stranger, doofus. You see, some people, or I should say some males, they walk up to the woman, and if the woman is not warm and bubbly, they think that she's disinterested or she's not attracted or they have no chance. This is not the case. In fact, women are such deceitful characters. You might engage a woman. She might be very warm and very bubbly and completely sure that she'll give you no chance. She's just being friendly. She's being nice. She's being cordial. She's being social. Plans to give you zero opportunity, zero dates, zero vagina, zero romance, zero interest, but she's just being friendly. Come on now. You guys have all experienced that. You talked to the young lady, thought it was going well, even asked for the contact information, only to find out it was an L. You got blocked. You got ignored. You got ghosted. And you're like, how'd that happen? I thought things were going so well. Yeah, you might have thought that. Not the case. They are deceivers. And that's why so often you don't really have a sense of how things went with the young lady until you see her that second time, until she agrees and shows up on that date. Come on now. I'd even challenge to you that the women you encounter who seem a bit cold, seem a bit standoffish when you first encounter them, I'd say that makes the most sense. Well, Marquett, why is that? Well, that's because if you're approaching a woman who's a real thoroughbred, very attractive, you can bet some lames have tried it before you, maybe even that same day. And she may not be able to tell you apart, especially if she's low IQ, and so many of them are. So she's really looking at you like, okay, impress me. You got 10 seconds, impress me. It's almost like an audition at the Apollo Theater. Except if you're a super player, you flip the script instantly because you're not there to tap dance. You're not there to impress her. It's like, who are you? Who are you? I'm the big homie, but who are you? You're nobody. So major piece of advice for you gentlemen. When you show up and you approach the female, she should not be able to read your thoughts on your face. So often you guys look like you're in awe. So often your energy goes up too high, maybe because you're nervous, maybe because you're excited, but either way, it's too high. You hear me? Nah, hell nah. You're talking faster than you would. Maybe you're talking louder than you should or lower than you should because you're nervous. But something's not right. You don't have that good balance of being chill, of being relaxed, calm, smooth. And you'll find that balance really quickly when you actually understand female nature. You understand how females really are. And then you'll maybe look at them a little bit more the way I look at them. And I mean that in a metaphorical sense and also in a literal sense. When I'm looking at a woman, I'm looking at her in a similar way to looking at a cockroach. You ever seen a cockroach? You're kind of like, cockroach. I'd prefer that thing not be there. I'm a little bit, slightly displeased. And that's how I look at them when I start talking to them, because I already know they're not going to measure up. I know they're not smart enough. I know they're probably lazy. I know she probably can't cook. She's probably a feminist. She probably thinks she knows more than she does. She's probably slightly masculine. I know that I'm already not going to be impressed and I'll have to settle for poking her guts. Maybe. So I walk up already knowing that she's a dirtbag. And I'm actually looking at her like, you're a dirtbag. I'm not engaging her with I'm so excited to be here, Your Royal Highness. Nah, hell nah. Now, if I just happen to be enjoying myself or in a good mood, she'll experience that. But she certainly won't get a sense that it's because of her. And I'm not about to give her a groveling compliment. And if I do give her a compliment, it will be the least expected compliment that she'd ever get. Or it might be a question. It's a sincere question. And here's the thing. I spend such a small amount of time crafting that first comment because it matters not. Marquett, why doesn't it matter what you say? Because she's judging how you said it, the calmness in your voice, the smoothness. Did you stutter? Were you confident? Did you catch her off guard? Were you smiling while you said it? How strong is your eye contact? How strong is she's looking at all of those things? What you said matters so little that if you asked her 10 minutes later, she wouldn't remember. You might not even remember if you're in a state of flow. If you're in a state of flow, you might not remember. But one thing I can guarantee you is 9 out of 9, I said something super player or fun or funny. But in every case, it was genuine. And it was something that I actually wanted to know. I wasn't just BSing. Or in other cases, I might quiz them and ask them something to figure out if they're even qualified. And based on their response, I'm gauging on if I want to engage the girl. I'm gauging if I want to engage the girl. Because sometimes I'm like, wow, this girl's too dumb. She's too dumb. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. It's going to be too much work. But what I really like is the quick one, the quick hit. And ideally, you don't want to ask a yes or no question. You can get away with it, but it doesn't provide for much content to start the conversation. And context matters. So, sometimes we think we have to get everything right. I'll give you an example. I was just recently in the Middle East, as you guys know. There's this woman working in a hotel that was just thicker than a Snicker. My Lord. Hips were so magically wide. The waist was small. She was a cute chick, too. I could look in her face and tell she had low IQ, though. It's a pity. I hate that I can do that. I really wish I didn't have that superpower. I can look in her face and tell her, ooh, this one's not smart. So anyways, I saw her and I was just thinking, like, Lord Jesus, this is a masterpiece in terms of the physique on the young lady. The shape was insanity. Honestly, you only see one of these maybe once every 6 months. And you got to remember, I'm on the scene like a sex machine. So anyways, I saw her and I immediately knew this girl's Moroccan. And it's very clear to me. I've been to Morocco many times. I said, oh, you're Moroccan. She was like, yes, I'm Moroccan. Now, you might say, wow, Marquette, that's awesome. That's like really good. You actually like could guess her ethnicity. That's great. She probably thinks you're really smart and that you're very experienced and well-traveled. Here's the kicker, my boy. If I didn't know her ethnicity, I'd rather guess the wrong one than to ask her what it is, because asking her it just seems like a little more clown-like, and I'm coming in with with a bit of uncertainty. I'd rather be certainly wrong than be uncertain and come off as like a timid, questioning male. For example, if I looked at the young lady, had not the foggiest idea of what ethnicity she is, I'd rather say, "You're Pakistani," and then her say, "No, I'm from Sri Lanka," or "No, I'm Indian." I'd rather say, "You're Pakistani," and then her say, "No," and then fill in the blank with the correct information, as opposed to me saying, "Hey, what ethnicity are you?" Because that just seems so much more lame. It seems so much more lame. And also psychologically, which one is more confident? You guys, and especially you nerds and peons, you might be thinking, Marquette, but you don't know. You're saying the wrong thing. It's okay, goofy. It's okay, goofy. This is not an examination in the 8th grade. You don't have to get the answers right. The goal is not to get the answer right or to ask the right question. The goal is to either clap her cheeks or get her pregnant. One or the other, right? Meaning get her pregnant, start a family, live happily ever after. Or just clap her cheeks because she's turbo thick. Is one or the other. The goal is not to ask her the exact right question and get to precisely calculate the hypotenuse. Is not that. So as opposed to sounding unconfident, hey, what, and too interested in asking random questions. Hey, what ethnicity are you? I'm curious. I'd rather be like, "You're Pakistani." She'd be like, "No." I'm like, "Oh, word?" And then I'm actually Desi Indian. Oh, okay. See, because did anyone ever ask you? Boom. Now we're flowing with the conversation. Now we're flowing with the conversation. So these are the psychological aspects that, hopefully you never need to think of once you've really soaked up the ism in the game. But these are things that are going to differentiate you from other males and the way you engage her. Because let me ask you a question. It might be more prudent to say, "What ethnicity are you?" It might even be more polite, more politically correct to say, "What ethnicity are you?" as opposed to saying, "You're Pakistani." Hell, some women might even find that to be offensive, but here's the kicker. Based on the confidence with which you said that, based on the lightness, the joy, and the power, they'll forgive those things because you're attractive. You see, when you're attractive and appealing, she's going to forgive a lot of things, and that's what you're banking on. What you guys often are trying to do is fabricate attraction. It can be done, but you don't want to do it too much. The point of spitting game, especially at volume, which is what I teach you, is to present yourself. Present yourself for the opportunity, because the woman is really looking at you with two lenses. Lens one, just based on the physicality alone, would I sleep with this man? If the answer is yes, now remember, the yes might just mean you're a range from 6 to 10 in her mind. You could be the 6 or you could be the 10. Now, based on the game that you hit her with, you can fluctuate between that 6 to 10. You can fluctuate within that range of she'll let you smash, or you can drop below the 6 to the 5 to 0 to where you don't have a chance of smashing. These things are important. But the reason that I say you have to engage her confidently, even at the expense of being rude, impolite, politically incorrect, is because she's making a decision on how she reacts to you, not wholly based on what you said. It's partly based on who you are or who you appear to be. Marquette, what do you mean? What I mean is that I could walk up to a female, and I've done this many times, said just outrageous things. I remember one time I was on Colorado Boulevard in Colorado and Lake, I believe, Lake Avenue in Pasadena, California. There were these two white women who were significantly older than me. I was a young boy at the time, probably like 17. And one of them was just looking good in these jeans. I mean, them jeans was fitting right. I walk up to her and I said, "Your fill in the blank with an expletive looks so damn good in those jeans." And then she looked at me, she looked me up and down and started laughing and said, "Thank you." Now, here's the thing. And, that flowed into a conversation. Another guy could have came up, said the exact same thing without confidence or while stuttering or without any sense of humor. And she would have been like, you're a creep. You're a creep. You're weird. Or she'd have been like, I feel uncomfortable, and like walked off. Right. So it's not what you said, it's who said it, and it's how it was said. You know, one guy says something, it's flirting. Another guy says something, it's harassment. Because you're dealing with females. There's no objectivity there. It's entirely subjective. The good news is that you get to decide on the nature of the subjectivity. Come on now, this is real game out here. We talking real game. You dig? Peace of saints for the game. You can't get anywhere else. That's correct, because ain't none of these rascals got any game. You heard me? This one rascal, just one of these tall dudes. He's just like built like a goddamn product of slavery. Big, tall, buff, black guy. Yeah! You know, and so he just walks around looking cute. And then the broads come over, which makes sense. Now, what the conversion rate is, that's something you really got to find out on the back end. But the broads come over, oh my God, how tall are you? And it lets you know these broads is perverts. You heard me? Shout out to Brody. But he ain't got no game. And he can't teach you the game because he ain't got no game. Bro just walk around like in a muscle shirt looking like a product of slavery. And then the broads come over like, oh my God, how tall are you? And then you got a bunch of doofuses on the internet watching this like, oh yeah, I'm going to get a height surgery so I can go do this. I can wear medical glasses and walk around, and chicks are just going to walk up to me. Now, here's a funny thing. If you really know broads, and I know broads like nobody knows broads, they might come up and say some goofy stuff. How tall are you? Oh, I like your suit. What material is this? Oh, is that silk? Oh, I like your glasses. Oh, I love your style. Oh, I was at your speech. You're so smart. They come up and say all kinds of stuff. Does that mean you're about to smash? No. No, the conversion rate drops down significantly from the rate of women approaching you because they're goofies. They're goofies. Come on now. Yeah. Bro said, we know exactly who that is. Yeah. And there's no disrespect to Lil Buddy. Ain't no disrespect at all. He just ain't got game like this. You hear me? And I don't blame him. He doesn't have to have game like this, because he's converting just off of the strength. And that's a beautiful thing. I love to see it. I'm converting off of the strength and I'm converting off of the ism. You dig? It's the double whammy. But I tell you what, ain't nobody ever lived AOB like your boy. Ain't nobody ever lived AOB like your boy, man. I really had him lay it on me on a regular basis. They ain't got game like that. That's different. It's different from a chick saying, hey, I find you to be physically attractive. And it's yet another thing from a broad being like, look, I got to pay homage, and I got to pay in a literal sense. Shout out to Nick. He writes, peace of the saints. Thank you for sharing the purest game out. Yeah. More life to you, sir. Knowing how phony these women can be, what is the best way to transition / escalate to a smash in that moment? And if not, then on the first date, sassing or not, bro, it's all about planning. Number one is planning and aggression. Planning and aggression. So you have to ask yourself, number one, based on who the chick is and environmentally, how can I convert that? And I'm always thinking planning. You dig what I'm saying? There's some chicks that'll let you take them down on the balcony in a high rise in Vegas or Miami. That's a thrill. You hear me? As soon as you went out on that balcony, that was the first thing that crossed her mind was to get beat down. So that's perfect. There are other chicks that'll be appalled if you try to take them down on that balcony. So assess who the female is. Ask yourself about environment and try to bring those two things together for the conversion. But aggression is the key. And usually I don't speak up on it. I take actions on it. But one thing I always try to make sure I got clear up front, off rip, is this. When we're about to kick it, my question for you is, are you menstruating? I need to know. Why? We're not going to have intercourse. We might not. But even if we don't, I don't want to be around you. That's a good time to go kick it with your family. Not me, though. Because I want you to have your best opportunity to impress me. And that's not going to be the one. No, I'm completely fine during my period. That's great. Are you on it? Or are you not on it? Will you be on it when you see me during that time period? And I'm not talking about like if there's any spotting, if it's like right before, right after, hell nah. I need buffer time. And if she's not willing to tell you that, don't kick it with her, because that's an L off rip. You know, she's unruly. She's hiding information. She probably going to be on it. Slide her to the side. But if she is willing to tell you, then that lets you know you got some opportunity there. Huh? Come on now. Yeah. And if you feel like you can't ask her that, it's probably a L. Because a lot of times when these chicks are getting attitudes with you, they're either getting an attitude with you because they've had poor parenting and they're just a stank broad, or they think you're a sucker and they could play you out. They could get at you foul. You should notice that in life. There's some people, they talk crazy to this person, they talk crazy to that person, but so-and-so, like, nah, they're real respectful all of a sudden. You got to pay attention to those things. And don't let any broad play you out. It'll never go well. Don't ever do that in your life. Huh? Don't ever do that in your life. Trying to play nice with the broad. No, sirree, Bobby. Now, you might say, well, Marquett, like, I saw you hanging out with the slores and they said something stupid and you didn't call them out. Yeah, there's no profit in calling them out. I'm not here to give a lecture to a broad. My information and advice is highly valuable. I'm not just going to give it out for free. I'm not going to correct people randomly. It's impolite. It's unnecessary. So you're right. I'm not calling out anybody, really. People can say an infinite number of idiotic things around me. I generally will just leave the environment. I'm not about to lecture or debate anybody in real life. That's completely a waste of my useful, important time. But what I won't do is I'm not about to let Shorty disrespect me. And what I won't do is I'm not going to let her get outside of her body. For example, there's a Kazakh chick. I got a couple Kazakhs, but there's one particular Kazakh. We're about to walk across the street. Now, mind you, women are ditzy. They think that they can see, but they only see about 60% of what a boss see. You hear me? So we walk up to a crosswalk, and I look to the right, and I see that the driver in the car has both his hands on the steering wheel, but he's not looking forward. He's actually looking to the left, but the car's still moving. It's moving slowly, but it's still moving. So she's ready to walk across the street. So she kind of like, she has her arm around so she kind of pulls my arm to like walk across. Man, I must have like tightened that shit up and pulled her little ass back and looked at her like she was a complete psychopath. It's like, hold on, shorty. Number one, who are you? Who are you? Like, if we're going to walk across the street, that's because I'm leading us across the street. If I'm not ready to lead us across the street, then we're going to stand here. If it breaks out raining and I want to stand here, we're going to stand here. If it busts out snowing and I want to stand here, we're going to freeze here. If there's a heat wave that starts all of a sudden, we're going to stand here and bake. You're going to look Filipino by the time we're done here. But what we're not going to do, you're not about to lead me across the street. Oh, hell nah. Some of you lames, when shorty like grabbed your arm and tried to lead you across the street, you'd have walked across the street with her. Hell nah, man. She lucky I didn't choke slam her. You heard me? If we was in a better world, man, that might have been appropriate. It was so ridiculous. I looked at her like she was out of her mind. No words required. I didn't have to explain a damn thing. I looked at her like she was so psychotic. I think she got 100% of my message. You dig? Her English is good, but I didn't need English. It was utterly ridiculous to a boss. Like, did you try to lead me across it? If you don't shut up and sit down, like I'm leading you across the street like you a toddler. And that's how it's always going to be. Grab daddy hand when we go across the street. That's how it's all. Shorty over here looking like, well, he's driving slow. No. See, that's the problem. Following you would get us sidetracked and clapped. You didn't notice that Brody's driving without looking at the damn road. He's not even looking forward. If for any reason we get into this street and we don't get out of the way, he will mow us down on accident because he's not paying attention. I accept 0% of risk in certain endeavors. If we're boxing, I might accept a level of risk because it's a joy and I chose to embrace that for my own glory. However, I wish the big homie would get killed in a damn crosswalk. I'm too player to die like that. You dig? I'm not going to die in a crosswalk. I'm not going to get injured in a crosswalk. I got to get injured doing something heroic. Young lady asked me recently, she said, would you ever go skydiving? No, my life is too important. Leave that up to the peons who have no meaning on this earth. My life's too important to go skydiving. What are you talking about? Foolishness. Huh? Foolishness. Anyways, shout out to Isaiah supporting the work using the Stripe link. I also acknowledge, shout out to Sean. He just went and got the Assassin men's athletic shoes. The ones with the white outsole, the white bottom, those are all going to be discontinued within 24 hours. So if you want the Assassin athletic shoes, I actually have these very ones. I exercised them yesterday. You can get them at sasnbrand.com, but they will be discontinued within 24 hours, which means you cannot put in a new order after 24 hours. Anyways, back to what Nick was saying. He's saying, how do you escalate and get to the smash? So number one is to make sure that you have the right location. You know, if you're in the public, that's an L. If you didn't make a plan to take her into a private enough location, then you ain't gonna get the smash. And then once you get her to a private enough location, escalating with physical touch. And remember, it's more beautiful when you escalate it over time, right? You don't want to have, unless you're like me. So, because I'm not very affectionate in general. You know, sometimes, you know, I might be in that mood, but 9 out of 9, I'm not in that mood. So, you know, if you know she's really feeling you, and in my case, I've been 0% affectionate, and as soon as we get into private, boom, turn it up 1,000% all of a sudden. Man, we going high speed all of a sudden. That could go. But more than likely, what you're going to have to do is be escalating it the whole way through. And that makes it even more streamlined. So once you do get into private, you already know it's a green light. Because your advance is up to that point. You're going to see if she rebuffs you, if she tries to curve you, or if she's letting it roll. Now, remember, a woman kind of is always going to play hard to get. That's a part of the experience. And I don't want to say too much in the public because people will misinterpret what you're saying, but we all know that women would prefer, rather, like, for example, if you were to ask a woman, hey, am I going to smash today? Oh my God, what do you think I am? She just screwed 9 niggas last night. What do you think I am? Hey, am I going to smash tonight? What kind of question is that? Hey, am I going to smash tonight? I'm not a... Hey, am I going to smash tonight? I don't have... So on the first date? But let you not ask that. Then just try to make it happen, right? So that she can put up her facade of being chaste and moral. They like to behave like virgins. They know that that's the ideal state. So they like to pretend to be a virgin, even if for a brief time, temporarily. You know, so, you know, you try to rub the wagon, they sweep your hand off. You rub the wagon again, they sweep your hand off. But that doesn't mean stop going to rub the wagon. No, they enjoying that. They're enjoying the process and the game. You feel me? Go ahead, squeeze it. Last time you caressed it, go ahead, squeeze it aggressively this time. You dig? It's until they outright say, I'm leaving, or stop it, or no, like, then you should probably stop. But here's the funny thing. In all of my years, that's happened 0% of the time. 0%. 0% that's happened. Because I let you in on a little secret. 9 out of 9, she wouldn't have went on the date unless she was willing to give you some punani. Now, maybe every now and then the chicks just go because they're hungry and broke at the same time. That's maybe for some of you fat, ugly rascals. You guys got to deal with this. Me personally, I've never had any experience with that. Do they want a free meal off of me like they want one off of you? Probably. But they also know that that monk gonna get served up. You dig? Yeah, they know that that monk is coming up. So the fact of the matter is that if she agreed to go out on that date, she also at the same time was agreeing to get her back blued out. So, you know, be ready to get after it, because here's the kicker. There's nothing worse than when you have the opportunity and then you don't seize it. And sometimes you don't seize it because you don't think it's there. It's always there, because she wouldn't have showed up on the date with you unless it was there. Here's a funny thing. There was a player story I did recently from when I was in the Middle East. Those of you who are members at peaceofthesaints.com, you've heard this player story. So I'm not going to get into the details because there's a reason that it's exclusive for the members. But I will add that the young lady, you guys may remember what her circumstance was. She did hit me up off of some, hey, you know, I wish you would have did X, Y, and Z. It just lets you know that opportunity is always there. Come on now. Come on now. Anyways, may I acknowledge Melvin writes, peace to the saints. Also, shout out to Dedrick. He writes, peace to the saints. We are getting the work in this weekend with the Seattle Saints. Keep spitting, Saint. Sir, love to hear it. There is nothing more important than that daily first thing fitness. Shout out to Irvin writes, peace to the Saints tuition. Good to see you again. I say again, I was just watching some drip trip footage. I was like, my boy, Irvin. I also acknowledge Charles writes, peace to the Saints tuition. Appreciate you. Shout out to Seven comes in by PayPal. He writes, thank you for reminding us of Nat Turner's legacy. My pleasure. Have you seen the birth of a nation? It's pretty well produced. You know, I've actually not seen it. I am curious to check it out. And it would appear that perhaps there was some organized effort to suppress it. Or black folks just didn't support it, which wouldn't be surprising at all. The blacks are quite an ignorant bunch. That's okay. We're going to clean them up. We're going to clean them up. Do you sell cat, writes, been on YouTube for an hour and didn't receive a single notification you were live. Just paying what I owe because I've been missing these lives lately. Peace of Saints, I appreciate you. I haven't done them in quite some time, so it's nice to be here. And it does take a level of energy to come on and do this. Some of you may not realize that. Shout out to Gerald, and of course, time. Gerald writes, not gonna lie, you're pretty cool, Lane. This guy is funny. I appreciate you. Yes, indeed. Send in your comments, questions, ties, and tuition using the information below because I always come prepared. You know, I always got notes. You have to forgive me for starting a bit late today. I had someone here discussing possible plans for the training center. As you guys know, we're budget strapped because people have been supported at a significant level. And shout out to the people who have. I really appreciate you. So we're just trying to discuss what is possible because, you know, I'm serious about all the things that I say I'm going to do. When you first approach a woman, one of the things I really hate to see, because there can really only be three outcomes when you approach a woman. There's you approach her, and next thing you know, book up, book up, book up, book up. And you might be like, Marquett, is that really possible? Yeah, it is really possible. I have videos to prove it. And the second option is that you can convert the contact information. And the third is that you can convert the initial contact into a date. And as much as that's the case, it should not take very long to assess which of those roads you're going to take and then to pursue it and come to completion. But what you ought not do is invest too much time up front unless you've converted it into an actual date. And the best way to know that you've successfully done that is to relocate with the chick. And if you're investing too much time up front, it's really you scamming yourself because being that women are dissimulators, you may find that you talk to her for 2 hours when you first met her and then you text her the next day and never get a response. So you're like, damn, I wasted 2 hours of my whole life talking to this broad. And then you're trying to rack your head like, what did I do wrong? You might not have done anything wrong. She might be married with 3 kids and just was talking to you for funsies. Might not have done a thing wrong. Or you did everything right and then 20 minutes after she walked away, she met a guy who was even more attractive than you. And she's like, I think I'll go with my better option. So you don't want to waste time on that initial engagement. So be very thoughtful and do move quickly. I'm not saying speak quickly. I'm not saying make it feel hurried. You know, keep it player and do what you do. But, you know, go ahead and put a bookend on it so that we know that we're going somewhere or we're going to pick it up tomorrow and try to make some moves. There have been times that I've been out in the world and a chick will say, oh, yeah, you know, what are you doing this weekend? I met her on Monday. What are you doing this weekend? Don't worry about the weekend, shorty. Today's Monday. So it's like we need to worry about what we're going to do right now or what we're going to do tomorrow. But beyond that, like, I'm not interested. She's like, well, just take down my number. Like, hit me up. We can do something Friday or something. Nah, that's too far away. Women are too irresponsible, flaky, and emotional for me to think that you have the rationality and adult ability to foresee and plan that you're going to be able to schedule that out. Like, nah, today's Monday. I met you on Monday. Either we're hanging out tomorrow or we're not hanging out. You know, because you're talking about Friday, Saturday. Today's Monday. I'll meet another girl once you walk away. I'll meet 3 more tomorrow, 3 more the day after, 3 more the day after that. And on the day of Friday, I'll meet more chicks that day too. So what do I need you for by then? You're not even useful at that point. I let them know my life moves fast. You heard me? You better get right or get left. I will have forgotten about you in short order. So knock it off playing games with me. And here's the thing. You might say, Marquett, that seems reasonable. The weekend, that's when you go on dates. No, nigga, that's when you go on dates. I go on dates when I feel like it. And low key, really, I don't go on dates. I really just include her on what I was about to do already and then eventually convert that to the smash. And if she's playing games about the smash, that's because she's a nut. It's like, look here, shorty. We're adults. Once you get past 0, to me, it's all the same. If I'm not taking virginity, it's all the same. So all we need to figure out is not, are you about to let me smash? We need to figure out what kind of smashing is this, which is to say, if you are a good woman with great qualities, yeah, let me smash for sure, because I want to. And we can keep this going and we can see if it blossoms to something better. If you're a slower, maybe I still want to smash, but that's all it's going to be though. So we just need to figure out what the nature of the smash is, but it's going to happen. Or you need to kick rocks, because I'm not a rest haven. You dig? You ain't going to just be laid up under me getting free stuff. That's not what's happening out here. You dig? Yeah, you might say, Marquette, you're going to tell her just like that. It depends. Sometimes that's how you got to tell them. You heard me? Yeah, it depends, because the key is this. You know, some chicks speak Spanish, some chicks speak German, and other chicks speak back of the hand. Other chicks speak different languages. So, you know, you just got to talk to them as appropriate to get your point across. But ideally, you want to use no words. The best communication doesn't need words. Huh? Come on now. Because at the end of the day, when there's too much to say, it's not going your way. You know, when you got to do too much explaining, all that tap dancing, nah, something ain't right. I'm going to need her to get it. You dig? I'm going to need her to comprehend. Huh? Shout out to Mr. Chapman writes, thankful for the endless game, saying, oh, it's a pleasure. May I also acknowledge 7. Okay, no, that PayPal playing games. Shout out to Mr. Gardner who writes, peace of saints, just sitting and learning. Saint, absolutely. Good to see you again. Shout out to Melvin, writes tuition, peace of the saints. Shout out to the real ones. Long time members. Yes, indeedy. Also, another thing to consider is that not everyone's for everyone. Case in point, I was leaving and mind you, if you have questions for me in the chat, use the information below or the information in the description to send in your question. That's what everyone's doing. I was leaving an airport. I encountered 2 super bad Moroccan chicks. One was working for an airline, and then the other one was working for TSA. Slid on both of them. Boom, converted both of them. And when I was messaging them, one was engaging and interesting, and the other one was not very engaging. Probably because she's not that intelligent. You might sometimes think, oh, she's not interested in me. No, she just doesn't have any thoughts in her head. She's a provincial, low IQ, inexperienced, unsophisticated person. There's no thoughts in her head. All you can do is send memes back and forth. She's brain dead. So the question for me is not how do I tap dance for the broad? The question is, okay, maybe I just put her on ice, and when I'm coming into town, then I'll hit her back up, or, you know, have her connect on social media and, you know, resume later. But trying to go back and forth in conversation, I might as well be talking to a goddamn person who slobbers on themselves. This girl's brainless. And some of you fools who are low self-esteem and, more importantly, don't understand female psychology and female nature. That's why I make content like the Big Game Conference. You guys are thinking there's something wrong with you or something wrong with your game. No, she's dumb. No one can have a conversation with her. This is the kind of chick that all she does is scroll on social media. Her brain is fried. Her attention span is shot. That's all that is. So, you know, not everybody's for everybody. She's low IQ, and that's okay. She might be good for smash. And I remember one Moroccan chick who's completely unrelated to these. These were actually Moroccans in Morocco. The one I'm thinking of is a Moroccan chick from Texas. And my Lord, she definitely had certain talents. I can tell you that. But outside of those particular talents, not very impressive. I wish I wouldn't have said where she was from. No disrespect, love. But, just not very impressive. Not what you would call a good person. What can you do? These people are on the planet Earth, mate. Yeah. Anyway, shout out to Gwensley. He writes, I appreciate you. No, we're actually not accepting any more tracks, in as much as the key is to freeze it and have some be utter classics. And the greatest value add is doing the things that I don't want to do or can't do. Those are the greatest value adds, just broadly speaking. Shout out to Mr. Rustum. Came in supporting the work via PayPal. Appreciate you. And thank you to all the folks who do support the work, whether it's today or as members at peacetothesaints.com. Carrying on. With regards to your initial approach of the female, there is something people call confidence. I've actually done a video on what confidence is. You can find that one on the member sites. But let's speak of conviction, or the idea of you being convinced. You've convinced yourself that you are worthy of this woman. You are qualified to approach her. You're deserving to have her. And in as much as that's the case, she probably should meet some qualifications too. And she can assess that in you. She can feel in you if you feel like you're worthy of being there. It's like one of those situations, if you go to a high-class restaurant, you can see the people who feel at ease and they feel like they're deserving to be there. This is everyday stuff. They don't feel any particular way. And then you can also spot out the people who are on a date where the guy's paying way more money than he'd really feel comfortable paying because it's out of his budget. He's trying to impress the girl. You can see these people, it's their anniversary. So they're like kind of enjoying this feeling of being in a snooty environment. And then you can see the people who are at this really expensive upscale restaurant and they're like, I come here every Thursday. Hey, Joe. Hey, Sue. I'm always here. And there's a different level of relaxation and easing into the environment and knowing that you're meant to be there. Everyone else may feel like a guest. They may feel privileged to be there, but you feel like this place isn't like, for example, in Vegas, I am what creates Vegas. When you go to Las Vegas, you want to see some slick cat wearing a suit that looks like it came out of a movie. Just super well groomed and beautifully put together. A really, loud, unexpected suit that just somehow looks great on him. And you couldn't pull it off. Where your old lady elbows you and says, hey, look at that, man. That's me. And I'm what makes Las Vegas, Las Vegas. It wouldn't be Vegas unless you had men like me there balling out, looking super clean, pulling up in big whips, parking it in the front. Valet don't even need to take your keys. I'm what makes Las Vegas, Las Vegas. It won't feel the same if I'm not there. That being said, that's how you got to feel when you approach the broad. You feel me? You really got to feel like that. And here's the kicker. Every broad is narcissistic. Every last one of them. They might be slightly overweight. They might be morbidly obese. They're all narcissistic. So just imagine if you approach a narcissist, you already gave her credit because you came to talk to her. You already gave her credit because you're approaching her. So off rip, you're feeding into her narcissism. So if you approach her in anything less than a state of perfect confidence, that's an L already. It's an L already. So you really got to come at it like a boss. But here's the key. If you're watching me right now, you're thinking, man, Marco, I don't feel that confidence. That has nothing to do with women. That has everything to do with you. And if you said, Marquett, would you recommend that I get your course called Big Game Conference that teaches everything you need to know about women? I'd say no. I'd actually recommend Boss University, because Boss University is about developing you. And if you're not feeling confidence, that has nothing to do with women, that has nothing to do with game, that has nothing to do with approach, that has to do with you as a man. Because whether I'm approaching a woman who's drop dead gorgeous, or a woman who's eyed, or a woman who's rich and famous, I'm still Marquett Burton. I'm the big homie. I'm the big homie. Yeah. Whether I'm wearing a fine suit or wearing rags, I'm the big homie. Because irrespective of the outfit, the environment, or the broad, I'm still Marquett Burton. And every single day that I wake up as Marquett Burton, I'm like, God damn it, I won. I get to be me again. Isn't that great? I get to be me. And if you don't feel like that, something's not right. You might be like, Marquett, that's how I should feel? Yeah, that's what life is supposed to be. Life is supposed to be you waking up every day like, God, I get to be me again. I get to be me. If you don't feel like that, something is not right. Marquett, no one's ever told me that. Like, I always thought that you're supposed to be periodically depressed. I always thought that you're supposed to be slightly overweight. I always thought that you're supposed to doubt yourself and you're supposed to be unsure and life is supposed to be challenging and relationships are challenging. You got to work at it. Nah, hell nah. All that's nonsense. None of that needs to be true. You design a life. You get to make a lot of choices, and these choices add up to happiness. They accumulate into enduring and persistent happiness. You get to pick everything. You pick your clothes in the morning, pick the toothpaste you use, pick the job you apply to, pick the job that you accept, pick how you allocate your money, pick the woman you're with, pick the home everything's a choice. How is it that you're not happy? That just means you made the wrong choices, doofus. You even get to pick your emotions. Huh? You get to pick your emotions. Did you know that? Come on now. We getting into it, man. Yeah, see, the game is really deep out here. You guys listen to these boys who they know very little. See, when I'm talking about women, but I'm also talking about life. And that's why you really got to take your opportunities for joy. Precisely what I'm talking about. Shout out to Taylor. He writes, it's good to see you are still with us, Saint. We need this game. Peace of Saints. I'm trying to tell you, man, because there are very few left like me. Shout out to Luis. He writes, I'm glad you're back and safe, Mr. Burton. I'm grateful for the live. I see the beard is back, but one day you're going to have to show us that the bald head lover can still be the full hair P. Sassin, LA section. Hey, man, you never know, man. I might mess around and grow out these dreadlocks, Brody. I might grow out these dreadlocks and then start doing live performances for the reggae album. Oh, yeah, if you didn't get the reggae album called Marquettism, type in the Saint in the Center, Marquettism, anywhere you stream music. You will enjoy it. It'll get you by. Let's get back to the work. Oh, and by the way, for the members, I just may do a member-only live session. In fact, it's not that I just may do it. I am going to do a member-only live session, and I want to talk about a particular aspect of female psychology. And, you know, sometimes when I talk about things that may be dark truths, I just don't want to talk about it publicly. And so we're going to do that one just for the members. So keep your eyes open for me to post that member-only live session. We're going to talk about some aspects of female psychology. And I think that you guys will find it to be very enlightening, but also it will ease your burden in dealing with women, and it'll help you understand why they react to you in certain ways. Firstly, and the reason I recommend Boss University before I even recommend, and again, Ochi, if you'd be kind enough to use the school.com/Marquett classrooms link, that has all the courses there. Just makes it a little easier for people. I appreciate you. The reason I recommend Boss University so often as opposed to the Big Game Conference, which is everything you need to know about women, how to approach them, how to select them, how to lead them, how to dominate, how to decide if you're going to go into marriage, how to go into marriage, how to manage the aspect of having kids, at what age you should do certain things, what kind of woman you should pursue, how to protect yourself against getting fleeced in a divorce. It talks about everything with regards to women. But the reason that I so often recommend Boss University in cases like this is because the way you experience the world is based on who you are. The way you experience the world is based on who you are, how you speak, how you think, the options you give yourself and the options you give other people. I'll give you an example right now to clarify. I was out with my old lady at a hotel. It was a hotel in residence. And on one side of the building is residences, people who own condos, and the other side of the building are hotel rooms, people who are renting for the night. And we had a lot of luggage, and so I called down to have the bellhop come up to take the luggage. He comes up, gets all the luggage, and we had wanted to go check out something, and we're going to come back and then fly out. So I said, hey, would you hold on to the luggage? We'll be back in a couple hours. And he says, oh, okay, well, I need to check because if you're on the residence's side, we can't hold the luggage. But if you're on the hotel side, we can hold the luggage. The lady was like, oh, you know, this, what should we do? Is don't worry at all. They're going to hold the luggage. Well, but we're not on the right side for them. Oh, no, they're going to hold the luggage. Have no fear. Well, how do you know they're going to hold the luggage? I know they're going to hold the luggage because I know how to figure things out. If it can be done, meaning it's possible, I can get it done. Maybe a lot of these rascals out here can't get it done, but I can. If it can be done, meaning it's possible, I can get it done. I'm the one. I'm the guy. So if it can be done, I'm getting it done. So nothing to worry about. We literally know that there is a bag check. It's not full. So why can't we get our stuff in there? Trust me, I'll get it done. No problem. Don't even worry. Don't even think twice about it. Consider it done. That's about who I am. I'm 100% certain I get things done, which means that this is just another thing to get done. So it shall get done. I remember we were going to Vietnam for the drip trip. It turns out that it was Tet holiday, which is like a damn 8-9 day holiday, which is ridiculous. I never heard of such a thing. And we still need to get 200 plus suits made and handmade shoes made while basically no one wanted to work during that week. And I thought, gee, that's going to be tough. But I can get it done. I get things done. That kind of mentality, that's what I teach in Boss University. If you have that mentality, you apply that to women, you apply that to business, you apply that to challenges you experience, you apply that to everything. It's foundational. Boss University is foundational. That's why I recommend it a lot, because if you at least have that, when you're operating with the female and she's watching you and listening to you, she's going to perceive you in higher esteem. Do you know what it feels like to a woman when there's a challenge and anyone else would get nervous or stressed or anxious and you say, don't even worry about it. Consider it done. I'll take care of it. And I know I'm going to win. And then you win, you take care of it and win. Everyone wants to be around a person like that. Yeah. You need that characteristic. You need that instinct. You need that self-belief. That has nothing to do with women. Because if a woman wasn't there, I'd have been in the exact same mindset. If it wasn't that situation and it was a business problem, I would have had the exact same mindset. If it wasn't a business problem or a situation with a woman and it was a situation on the street, I would have had the exact same mindset. I'm going to win. I was around my old lady and she said, because I was telling her, I said, hey, if I'm about to sock somebody out, make sure you start recording because I want people to see the demo. I was like, so just step back and start recording. She was like, okay. I was like, yeah, and it doesn't matter what the context is. If it's three of them, if it's a huge guy, just start recording. Don't call the police. Don't ask for it. Just start recording. She was like, yeah, okay, yeah, no problem, because I know you're going to win. Like, even if the guy is huge, I know you're going to figure out how to win. I'm going to just make sure when I record it, I locked the phone after that so there's no evidence because I know you're going to do whatever it takes to win, which is true. I'm going to do whatever it takes to win because I'm about winning. I'm not going to run. It could be 3 of them. It could be a giant. I'm going to win. The other person should be terrified because I will go to any length to win. That's why I'm so confident about winning, because I know I'm going to go to any length. There's nothing I won't do to win. I'll do anything to win. Don't ever go against me. You need that. If you don't think like that, you're a loser. Straight up. You're a loser. You're a loser, buddy. Anyways, shout out to someone came in supporting the work anonymously. I appreciate you. I also acknowledge Eli came in using the Stripe link, supporting the work. May I also acknowledge Juan. He writes, "Peace of Saints. I had a woman initiate a conversation with me. It'd be like that. It's a beautiful thing. Afterwards, when I asked for her number, she said she was hoping I'd ask. It'd be like that. Proceeds to not text me back when I message her. It'd be like that. 100%. And again, that's why I'm doing that session on female psychology for the members only, because female psychology is peculiar. I stated at the very beginning of this talk that they are crooked animals. Shout out to Des Moines. He writes, appreciate you for kicking this level of game. Peace to the saints. Peace to the saints indeed. Shout out to all the saints who are on the drip trip. Good to see you all again. Shout out to Austin. He writes, quote, the nature of the man will decide the nature of the problems he will endure, end quote. OG quote from MDB. Glad to know you're safe, Saint. I appreciate it. And by the way, shout out to you. Your infighting was really good. I was watching some footage back. You have some really good infighting. Good. And you're getting some good work in on that trip, boy. Hey, shout out to all the saints who were on the drip trip, man. We had a lot of, it was a real bloody one this time, man. We was getting some real good fades in, man. It's a beautiful thing. Look at this dweeb. So you'll go against your own morals to win. Look at this dweeb. Nigga's a loser. Nigga's a straight loser. Anyway, you know that's some loser shit. Because here's the thing. My only moral, my greatest moral is to win. See, that's how I know you're not a winner and you don't understand. Number one, you don't even comprehend what I'm saying. Number two, you're not a winner. Winners don't ask that question. Winners do not ask that. That's not even a question to a winner. That's a loser's question. And I love you. I love you. I appreciate you being a fan, but that's a loser question. I'm always going to tell you guys the truth. That's some loser stuff. Please stay away from me. Do not come to any of my events. We do not need that energy around. That's loser stuff right there, homie. Straight loser written all over it. You dig? And that's the kind of guy whose girl is going to end up getting beat down by a real boss because you're not it. You heard me? Here's the thing. Let me tell you something beautiful. I promise you guys, you're going to be around, especially if you're a successful man, you're going to be in places where there's somebody richer than you. There's somebody better looking than you. There's somebody taller than you. There's somebody meat bigger than you. There's some broke dude there that's willing to really blow a chick back out. You hear me? So there's always going to be somebody that's going to beat you in some area. But my old lady knows I'm the coldest nigga on earth. I'm always going to win. If I'm in the competition, if I choose to do something, I'm always going to win. If it's mano y mano, if it's one-on-one, I'm going to win. And she ain't never got to doubt that. She doesn't have to go get the guy who's 6'8" because she knows that if it's him versus me, he got to go. And I'm going to get the job done. And the difference between a nigga who's 6'9", he ain't never really had to test what he is too many times. I gave out a lot of demos. I actually know what I am and I know what I'm about. I'm tried and true. When you 6'9", 6'10", ain't too many people tried you. I had to break a lot of jaws. So I already know what I'm off of. I already know how it's going to go. I got a lot of practice. The value of practice, there is nothing that replaces that. There's nothing that replaces practice. Marquett, I want to get good at spitting game. Spit a lot of game. Marquett, I want to get good at boxing. You need to throw hands a lot. Nothing replaces boxing if you want to get good at boxing. Can't read books to get better at it. I've been in the war a lot. I already know how it's going to go. That's why I'm irreplaceable. Huh? And my winner mentality is so strong. It's so strong. I only know winning. I only discuss winning. I only discuss successful war plans. Your mentality is weak when you're discussing anything else. You might be a loser at heart. Look at Brody. But didn't answer the question. Will you go against your own morals to win? Yes or no, big guy? Look at this dweeb. It's homosexual stuff. Homosexual stuff. Look at this dweeb. Total dweeb. If you want to have a personal conversation with Marquett Devon Burton, you can go to, let me give you, you can go to wisdom.com/Marquett Devon, and you can ask personal questions. You can ask personal questions there. Whatever question you would like to ask. Wisdom.com/Marquett Devon. You can ask personal questions there. There you go. But let me tell you, I view you as a loser. I just want you to know respectfully, but not respectfully at all. I view you as a loser. But it's okay though. And I'm just keeping it a being with you because that's my personality. It's just to tell people what it is. And you know why? That's because I'm not scared. People lie when they're scared. That's why people lie to women. They're scared. They're scared of what the woman's going to say. They're scared of what she's going to do. These guys are called cheaters. They want to have a side girl, but they're not man enough to tell her, hey, I'm going to have another girl. So they lie. It's cowardly. I'm not scared of anything. So I just let you guys all know what it is. But it's very unusual that you meet people who are not scared of anything. That's why you're accustomed to being lied to. Sometimes you confuse dishonesty for politeness and civility. You confuse the two. Being dishonest, avoiding the truth, that is not polite. That is cowardly. But in our day, we've portrayed it as polite. We've portrayed it as civil to not say what is real. And that is why the society is so backward. Anyways, carrying on. You got to teach out here, man. Oh, and by the way, folks, I advise you guys to keep losers away from you because the only thing that a loser can do is spread their poison. Birds of a feather flock together. You don't want that to rub off on you. You hear me? I keep the losers away from me. Shout out to Kyle, came in with the baller alert. Shout out to the ballers. First baller alert. He writes, shout out to the winners. Keep winning, Saint. Sir, yes, sir. Absolutely. Absolutely, sir. I appreciate you. I was just thinking about you yesterday. Pause. Shout out to Mr. Brown. He writes, peace of Saints here to pay tuition. Thank you for everything you do. You are welcome, and I appreciate the support. May I also acknowledge Albatar came in via PayPal. He writes, peace of Saints. Alhamdulillah for your safety. Thank you for the game. Thank you for creating the assassin. I'm blessed. Assassin or nothing. Peace to the Saints in a real way. And I really want you guys to understand that when it comes to winning, there's no such thing as being polite. When it comes to winning, everything needs to be sacrificed for the W. And if you truly have a winner's mentality, it will carry you everywhere that you need to go. And if you find that someone has a winner's mentality, truly do not go against them. It'll never go well. It's not a battle to pick. You dig? At all. And me, I don't let it go till I've won. Like, for example, there's an older white dude stole $15,000 from me. And my lawyer's been hunting this boy down for I think 8 months now. And I'm not going to ever stop until I take something from him that he loves, until I hurt him deeply. I'm not going to ever let go. And every day I almost think about it. It crosses my mind and I'll write down what my next step is or what my plan is. And so I'm drawing up careful plans to hurt him because I'll never let it go until I've won. I'll never let anyone win against me. And it'll never be over until I won. So, and I want you guys all to have that mentality. And they say the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. You could say, Marquette, just let it go. No. I'm not letting anything go. Absolutely not. I'm not letting a thing go. And I recommend that you stick to winning. You can only do so many things. I don't try to do everything, but the things that I do choose to do, I am choosing to win at. I don't try to do everything. I don't even try to do many things, but the small number of things that I choose to do, I choose to win at. Okay? Shout out to Brad. He writes, I appreciate the wisdom. Your insights are profound. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. Melvin writes, can you provide the link to the Discord so I can work out with the Las Vegas Saints? Melvin, I'm assuming you're not a member. The Discord's for members only. So if you are not a member, you can join at peacetothesaints.com. And once you complete new member orientation, shoot me a message and we will get the link to you. May I acknowledge John? He writes, had to support this game. I appreciate you. And I want you guys to remember that you're not going to win at everything. You can't win at everything. play the games that you can win at. Don't play all of the games. There are things that I legitimately enjoy that I will not do because I can't win at them. I'll say that again. There are things I legitimately enjoy I won't do because I can't win at them. Winning is everything. Listen, only losers say that winning is not everything. Losers are women. Marco, what do you mean losers are women? Are you saying women are losers? In some cases, yes, it's true. But the reason women can accept losing out of their mouth, they can say that, is because they never have the pressure to win. Marquette, what do you mean? I mean that as a man, if you want something great, you have to earn it. It takes time, effort, capital, emotions, pain. If a woman wants something great, she just has to swipe on Tinder and then ask some dweeb to give it to her, and he'll give it to her. She can get it the same day. If a woman wants a G-Wagon, she could possibly get one today. It's just a matter of swipes on Tinder and managing her body effectively. That's all. She can get one today. If you as a man want a G-Wagon, you got some work to do. So a woman can be one who fails. She can be incompetent. She can be inept. She can be unaware of the real world. But if she can manage her body and swipe on Tinder fast enough, she can get everything that she wants. So losing, being incompetent, and being foolish has very low consequences. So she projects that onto you, but that's from a conscious level. And she says, oh, it's okay. Winning's not everything. She says that to you, but that's a lie. That's why I would never let a woman share her thinking with my son, because that's not true. Because a woman will say that, but then she only picks winners to stick with. What? Yeah, she only picks winners to cheat with. She picks winners to sleep with. She picks winners. She picks just the winners. Come on now. Let's talk about it. We're going to get after it today. Yeah. They tell you things that are not true. And lying is the order of the day. I kid you not, this is a true story. Check this out. And this is why it's so important to have expert advice and to have mentorship from people who have experience. If someone would drop the link, it might be in the description of the video. If you ever need advice, feel free to book a consultation with me or with somebody who knows. Don't try to do things without knowledge. I'll give you an example. I was going to rent a flat in a very expensive real estate market, right? Very expensive market. And so I went to one of the most expensive real estate markets on earth. And then I said, in this market, I would like to rent one of the most expensive condos you have. So the real estate agent, she's like, okay, sure thing. Gives me the options. We go tour them. I pick one. And I get the contract and I read the contracts because unfortunately I know people are dishonest, and the contract just gives you a little better of an advantage to avoid bad situations. So I read through the contract. I ask her to make some addendums, and I ask certain things to be taken out and certain things to be added. And then I look at whom I need to pay this very large sum of money to. So I see the name of the legal entity, and then I do a search on the legal entity just to make sure that it's a real legal entity, that it's active and in good standing. Most people would never know to do this because most people have never opened a corporation or a business of any type, and they don't realize that there are things you have to do to maintain a certain standing with the government. So I go ahead and look up the information only to find out that this particular entity is defunct. And it's been defunct for over a year. So it's not like a recent, issue. Sometimes you maybe filed your annual report late, or there was some minor thing. You didn't pay some minor tax or fee, and then your legal entity was not in good standing. This was not the case. It had been in bad standing, if you will, for some time. So then I message her. I say, hey, this legal entity has been defunct. So this guy's trying to get me to pay into a legal entity, which is defunct, which is basically saying the government is not recognizing this as a business. Your bank account still may have this name attached to it, but who knows what you're really doing? This may be all bad. And I have to wire you a legitimate amount of money in wires you cannot pull back. So anyways, I say to her, just to test out her now, right? So this is experience. Experience was finding out that this is a fake legal entity. Most people would have never questioned it. Then the second piece of experience is now I'm testing the nature and quality of this real estate agent. Is she just trying to get her cut, or is she trying to look out for her client? So I said, hey, I'd be willing to pay if the landlord, or the owner of the property I can just pay into their name. She said, oh yeah, she has no explanation as to like, I'm surprised this is not a legal entity. My apology for not checking. Let me figure this out. Just like she's just trying to get the check cut and get the deal done, because she's going to get her money up front on the front end. And then she gets to walk away. If things fall apart after she walked away, what does it matter to her? She got paid and she has no liability. Huh? And so I said that. She was like, yeah, I'll arrange that with him and you can pay him directly. And I was just like, wow, that's interesting. So you didn't do any due diligence on my behalf, and you're not even questioning this person's nature. Like, this is probably not a organized, not a good person. Maybe someone who's dishonest, maybe someone who's a cheater. And you're not thinking, I don't want to lock you into a lease with this person, because invariably things are going to go wrong. Meaning that you cannot do a good deal with a bad person. And you guys hear me so often talk about good people, good people, good people. 3-sentence Bible, be good to yourself. Excuse me, I'm sorry. 3-sentence Bible, be yourself, then be good to yourself, then be good to good people. Be yourself, be good to yourself, be good to good people. I'm always talking about good people. And that's why I spread this ism with you. I try to repeat these things so it really soaks in, so that it's second nature and it helps protect you. So I said to her, no, I'm not going to do this deal. Are you kidding me? I'm not working with you, and I'm not working with them, because neither of you are good people. Thank you. Goodbye. And that mistake, if I'd have made that mistake, it would have been very costly. I would have lost 6 figures to these imbeciles. And then I would have had to try to track them down on the back end, try to sue them. And then if that didn't work, then try to take their lives. Who wants to have to do all that, right? Unnecessary. And that's how experience can save you on the front end. And I hope that you all don't come into situations like that. But if you do, that you're savvy enough, or you can talk to someone who's savvy enough, especially when a lot of money is at risk, right? Now let's continue with this work. I got more. If you guys like, I got more game if you like. So I'd like to introduce a paradox to you. The paradox is this. I tell you, it doesn't matter what you say when you first engage the woman. But I'm also telling you that it's still best to avoid overused, boring, non-engaging openers. Doesn't matter what you say, but it's still good to not say things that have been said a million times. If you're at the bar, oh, do you come here often? If you're at a coffee shop, oh, you come here often? You come here a lot? Boring. Or if you're at a college campus, and this one is the worst, you probably know it before it comes out of my mouth. What's your major? What's your major? What are you majoring in? It's the worst. Or if you're on a dating app, hey. Now, here's the funny thing. This is mostly the game that chicks use. They'll hit you with the hey, or they'll hit you with the wave hand. And it's mostly lame, but if the attraction level is high enough, it's going to work just fine. So if you hit a chick with the hey and she's attracted to you for whatever reason, it's fine, but it's still less than ideal. So keep it brief, keep it clear, keep it clever. Brief, clear, and clever. Marquett, break that down for me. Roger that. Brief. That's womanly. You don't need to be verbose. Keep it short. Keep it brief. Keep it clear. Clear. Why is that, Marquett? Well, super player like me, International P. You deal with a lot of women. They speak various languages. Their English may be a little shysty. Keep it clear. Better to be clear than clever. Better to be clear than humorous. Clear. Make sure that they understand what you're saying. Select your words. Keep it brief. Keep it clear. Keep it clever. Clever in the sense of you said something to her that no one's ever said before. I know it sounds like a tall order for some of you. For me, it's just fundamentally the way my mind thinks. I think in a radically different way than everyone else. Case in point, I compliment a woman when her nails are not done. Everyone else compliments her when her nails are done. Oh, I like your nails. That's really cool. Like, oh, what's that color called? Or, oh, I like that design. Hell nah. I compliment them when they're not done, when they're natural, when they're raw, when she didn't invest a single penny in them. Oh, I like those nails. She's shocked. What? Oh, I didn't do them. She starts hiding her nails. Grab them. No, I like that. It's natural. It's who you really are. It's much better than having long nails that collect dirt and filth underneath them. Now she's mind-boggling. This guy's different. Some other. Now you have a conversation because you've introduced a novelty, a new perspective. That's just the way I think. I think radically different than other guys. So it's effortless to me. But you may need to take some time to think, and that's okay. Think and ask her something or compliment her on something or bring her attention to something that is unique. And it doesn't always have to be about the broad. For example, if you're there and the chick's there, maybe you're in an art museum or an art gallery. Hey, what do you think of that? Or, hey, did you notice that? Or, you know what? I would have used this painting would be much better in a white frame instead of a gold frame. Would you agree? You could talk about something in the environment. It doesn't have to be about the chick. Or you could ask her something crazy. You might say, hey, when I was getting dressed this morning, I was thinking, I look really good in red, but do you think I look better in black? She might start laughing, right? It doesn't have to be about the chick. Let's hit her with some angles. It's just like in boxing. You could come straight forward, but it's better to hit them angles. So, hit her with some angles, hit her with some real playerism, man. Like, stop hitting her with the basics. It's like you picked up the basketball for the first time in your life. Like, nah, man, I really want to be a Harlem Globetrotter out there. Yeah. And obviously, those openers are going to get you a cold reception when you use openers that have been used many times. That'll cause you to feel like you're failing at the beginning. And if a chick says, oh, is that a line? Or, oh, do you say that all the time? Or I bet you say that to all of the women. This may be as much a compliment as much as it is a slight. And as much as she could be speaking to the fact that, wow, that was really smooth. You seem like really well practiced. You're very well seasoned with this. She could be saying, oh, you seem like you get a lot of women, or you are confident. You talk to a lot of women. That's what that could translate to. As I said, they're not straightforward creatures. And I heard one drug user say, hey, I don't think we've met. I'm Marquett. His structure is, hey, I don't think we've met, which is fine. That works. And that's much better than nothing. That's much better than missing the opportunity. And in as much as that's the case, it's great to have some basic, boilerplate stuff already in your head that you can use straight away. Because when you double back on the broad, that's a L. You want to get at it the first time you see her, because the first time you see her could be the last time you see her, and people forget to factor that in. You definitely have to factor in that sometimes you get one take, you get one opportunity. That's real life. So many times you might see the chick and go get yourself together mentally. You went in the bathroom, gave yourself a pep talk, came back out. She's gone. You'll never see her again. Shout out to Rakeley. He writes, the game is hilarious right now. If I don't get a response, I send something wild / insulting with humor. I like your linebacker shoulders, NFL babies. Oh, and they respond most of the time. Formality is pretty much gone. Pieces. The funny thing is, women are so sick mentally that this is far more engaging to them, because at some level, they're not happy people. They're a bit negative, these ones. So, of course, that's going to play with them. That's going to play on their need for drama, their need for emotional variation. And in the conflict, that's where they find the attachment to you. It's really sad. And that's why so often when people look at the dynamic between a P and a 304, they think that she wants to leave. No, she doesn't want to leave at all. She's in her happy place because she's a conflict-oriented being. She's a dysfunctional being, and he's managing that for her. Come on now.